Okay, Joy, I'm so happy to be part of this interview today with you because I've always wanted to ask you some questions about your photography. Your work has gone into the animal world, which is my world especially.
Yes, it is.
And I feel a kindred spirit with you. And when you go, I'd like to know about how you go about doing these photo shoots. I understand it's at Raptors Trust. I don't want to give too much away, but this one in particular, Soul, it's so appropriately named. His eyes, you just get lost in his, and the soulness. He's so full. And I've seen more than one of these photographs that you really caught the spirit of the bird. I happen to have one that is dead that I absolutely love, of a, I think it was a red-bellied woodpecker that was in the snow that is just so poetic. So you seem to be able to get a poetic feeling with your photography, and I think in today's world of photography, it's so challenging to be different, and I think that's what sets you apart from everyone else. So my question to you would be, how do you go about doing it? So technically speaking, where you go, and how do you catch the spirit of that animal in the photograph?
Good question. I don't think I'm consciously thinking those thoughts when I'm shooting. I shoot at the Raptor Trust. The bird is an injured bird, rehabilitated but unable to be released. It's used in their educational programs to help bring awareness to habitat loss and destruction, and also they're just gorgeous. How do I tap into the soul? I guess it's a passion. It's always been a passion. I've always had a thing about birds. I just don't, it speaks to me. You know, you get a piece of art or something, and there's just a connection here. And when they get that connection, you know, you just got to stay on it. I love zooming in. I love trying to get just the bird itself. So technically, you know, I'm using a longer lens. I'm trying to get the bokeh in the back, so to isolate the bird from the background. This was done in full color, but I like the black and white treatment because it just cuts down to the very essence of it. So,
Are there challenges photographing?
Oh yeah, they don't take direction. Look over here! Smile! Don't blink! Yes, there are. This one was done March of last year. I shot again. They do this fundraising photography thing twice a year. The one in October I didn't get nearly as good shots because the birds just weren't into it. They wouldn't want to look at my camera. Luck plays a big, and patience. Patience is a big deal.
Much like photographing children.
Exactly like photographing children and pets. Yes. Yeah.
So Joy, tell me why you photograph birds. I mean, you could photograph dogs, you could photograph bears, lions, and also, can you talk a little bit about lighting?
Okay. I'll do the lighting question first because that's easier. The best light, and this is what in this particular one as well, the best light is cloudy days. It's like a giant soft box, and it just gives you gentle shadows. You don't get harsh things, you get a lot more detail. So I prefer cloudy days, bright cloudy days, which is what I believe this was taken. And you just get a wonderful tonal range. How did I come to picking birds? I don't remember the exact point. But early on, I've just always had a fascination with feathered creatures that can fly. In college, I volunteered at a nature center where I grew up, and my job was to take the birds out of the cages on the weekends so that the high school students can clean the cages for community service. And so this is before litigation, worried about insurance and everything else, so I was able to handle great horned owl, kestrels, red-tailed hawks. I just got the connection from being with the birds in college and being able, and my college also had an environmental center where they had the birds, so they were always been around. And I consider them almost a talisman, a good luck charm.
So you always had an affinity to want to photograph birds and a feeling for that more than any other animal you could relate to them.
Yes.
It's beautiful, it's a great thing. It shows it. It shows that you have the feeling of that animal.
Thank you. Tricia.
Hi, Joy.
Okay, so let's talk about you now.
Okay.
All right, you too have affinity to birds,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a bit more than my trying to distill down the essence. You're trying to say something more. And with this triptych that you have here, can you tell me a little bit about what you're trying to say here? Because there seems to be a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm.
If you can talk about that for us.
Sure. So this painting triptych is taken from Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights. So he did a painting, a triptych, where he started with the Eden as it is today and as it will be. So I, in fact, call this Garden of Earthly Delights, and I entitle it, as I just said, As It Was, As It Is, and As It Will Be. So I use animals as metaphors. I do like showing them personally having an expression where you do that very well. I like using them as metaphors, especially in this last painting here, where this happens to be my younger daughter and my older daughter, Lana and Maxine. Lana is holding a pedigree animal, and this is sort of the end of the world, if you will, but not so much. It's actually not much different than it is today. We've already had massive flooding in New York, where now they're talking about closing the ranks on their buildings when the floods come in, special procedures. So this really isn't so bizarre. Although you have sort of like the roadway completely eaten away, and the only animals that are left are a pedigree dog and the most populated bird in the United States, which is the starling.
Which is a non-native invasive.
It's a non-native invasive animal, and this, of course, is something that we created. So this is how I see things going. The drastic storms that we have been having one after another recently, it's not even so unusual. So this is, I guess I could have even done another painting where I feel like it could be going, but it's foreseeable future. And this here is the birds forming a pattern here, geometric pattern coming together. So this one here, we're going backwards now. This one is how I see it as today. This is basically a salvage yard with the city in the background. And up in the upper left-hand side, you can see where the birds have been living in, these are all the animals living in the habitat that they have left right here today. So some of these are endangered, some of them are just trying to make a living basically where they can today. The bats, the Indiana bats, the bobcat, peregrine falcon, the wolf that's gone, bittern, the screech owl, which is not the bobolink, which is endangered, and the unknown nest of some raptor up there in the tower.
The cell phone tower.
The cell phone tower. So this is how I see things, just trying to make a life for itself, trying to survive as it is today. And as it was in the far left is my daughter Maxine. She's presenting Eden, and the birds are just coming from her chest, and she's standing on the ground, and the ripple effect of man is being felt early on in the bottom part. I don't know if anyone can see that, but they can come to my studio and see it. And the ripple effect is happening throughout Eden, and I have all the animals sort of just like in a state of nirvana, so everyone is sort of getting along together. And the peacock, an interesting kind of thing that happened when you do things, sometimes your past comes up and it's uncontrolled and it's just subconscious, and to me that looks a little bit like a cross. So I thought that was an interesting kind of like feeling of like what might be happening as a premonition. But so this is all kind of good things, what was, but what might be happening as it is and as it will be. But I am a sculptor, typically speaking. What I normally do is sculpting, and I like telling stories within my paintings and in my clay.
All right, I have a question for you. Viewing this, are you an optimist?
Guardedly so.
Okay, good. Because this is painting a rather
Well, I mean,
warning of a picture.
It's a warning.
Okay.
It's a foreshadowing of what is seeming to be not even so much of a foreshadow, but what things are today. So my story, if you will, is all about making people more aware of what the animals, how they're living, what we left for them. It is optimistic. I mean, ultimately, they are alive. They are here. There are many animals. This little guy, he's a little pack rat. There's only 2 families left in New Jersey. So in New Jersey, for some reason, I think because we have like this dense population in 2 sections of New Jersey, that is just canceling out the habitats for animals. So because of my reforestation that I do in South Mountain Reservation, I've learned about the loss of habitat.
All right, well, thank you. It's good to
You're
know
welcome.
all of this.
You're welcome.
And come to the studio tour. We'll
Yes,
be there.
Come to studio tour, you'll see my painting and the sculptures.
Yep.